Yeah, so just a quick video then on the spin beam setter. It's the HL40TOUCH model. So it's a touchscreen system, and we'll go through all the details of that in a minute. So it's a battery powered charger cable here, plug into the mains charging port here. There's batteries, internally rechargeable batteries down here, which you never have to touch, and maybe after a few years they might need to be replaced. But you just put it on charge every day, and you can check the charge status through the display. This one doesn't have the printer configuration. The printer is optional. This one includes the laser for the top here, the laser mirror for squaring the unit to the car. This is an optional extra included in this one. It normally comes with a mirror here. So it comes with a good detailed manual. There's a CD read as well for software where you can use it through a PC. I've never personally used it through a PC myself, but it can be done. But you have to connect a network cable in here from the beam setter to your PC. There's an optional, this is another optional item, it's a cover the box unit. So that's the whole on that end of it. So as regards getting it ready to check the headlight alignment on a car, a few different things you have to set up. The first thing is the distance between here and the headlight. In the manual it says anywhere from 30 to 70 centimeters. You needn't measure every time. Once you do a few times, you'll get used to how far to keep it away, because there's a good tolerance from 30 to 70 centimeters distance from here to here. So you set up the distance, make sure the unit is relatively square to the front of the car, so that when you wheel it across to the other side, that it travels across parallel with the car. Then one of the next things then is to just position. So if you're doing the dip beam first, for example, on this fan outside here, just position the unit in front of the dip beam. This one, I just restarted again. This one has a centering laser in the middle of the beam here. So I'll just show you now when we turn it on. It takes a couple of seconds to come on. So settings in here, should never really be any need to go in here. There is an option for calibrating the level sensor, but if you want to do this or check this, give us a call. So to go in to do a test, we go here and turn on the laser here. So this turns on a laser beam shining out in the middle of the box onto the light. So we use this laser then for setting the height and the position. There is measurements here on the side of the light, on the back beam as well, on this box iron box as well, but you don't need to use these when you have the laser. If you didn't have the laser, you're meant to measure the height of the headlight, and whatever height the headlight is, set this to the same height. So once you have the laser, you don't need to use them. So now we have it the right distance away from it. We have it pointing towards the centre of the headlight. Then you need to square it parallel to the car. So you have your laser up here. You have to press and hold the button. The reason you have it that way is we don't want you to leave it on so that you can walk around and look directly into it. So you pick 2 points on the vehicle, say two screws or 2 even points or 2 bolts in the wing or whatever. So you can see here we're hitting this one but not that one. So then we can either move it, the whole unit, or we can loosen this screw with a foot adjustment and turn it there to get it even, and then lock it up. So that's okay, we're there, it's there, right? It doesn't have to be re-lock it, just get it pretty close. So lock it up then, that prevents this from twisting again. When we've done that now the laser is after moving a bit, so we'll just move it back a bit there to the centre of the light. So now we're the right distance, we're in the middle of the light and we're parallel or square to the front of the car. Then the next thing that the machine checks is the unit level. So we can look in here, there's a spirit level in here as well, but there's an electronic spirit level. If it's not level in this plane, you'd loosen these screws here and it twist the box this way. If it wasn't level from side to side, there's an adjustment screw here on this wheel that moves the whole structure up and down. For this case we're level. It will depend on your floor. Once you get it set up and you're using it in the same position all the time, you shouldn't have to adjust here or here. But if you're moving it to different places in the garage and the floor is not level, you will have to do it. So now we're level, so now we continue on to the next one, the next screen. So now we have to pick the type of light. So there's two different types they talk about, is symmetrical and asymmetrical. Symmetrical is where the light just goes straight across, it doesn't kick up at the left. For this kick up here on the left is so that you can see somebody walking or see something close to the ditch. So the symmetrical will be just straight across. Asymmetrical is going to have that kick up on the going to the left. For right-hand drive cars, if you ever have a left-hand drive car in, it's going to be going the opposite way. So if you have to change that, so that's symmetrical and that's asymmetrical. So in this case, so you switch over to whichever one. In our case, it's this style. So we click OK. Now they're asking us about the height here. You don't have to input this, you needn't worry about this. This is only if you had the optional printer. Whatever you set this figure to here is going to come off on the printer. It has nothing to do with setting up the liner or the beam setter. So I just go on to the next screen. Set the inclination in percentage. So this is a good reminder then to look at the dial on the back and set it to whatever the manufacturer recommends. 99% manufacturers say 1.2%. Some cars will have it marked on the headlight. This one here has. Did I see it there? It is, yeah. So it's set to 1.2%. Again, this figure here has no bearing on the setup. It's only if you had the optional printer what's going to come off on the printer. Just for the sake here, we'll set it to 1.2. So we'll just go OK. And now we need to turn on the lights. So in this car, this has an adjuster inside for setting the height of the lights, a manual adjuster. On cars like that with manual adjusters, you normally set it to the 0 position or just test it, move it up and down and set it to the highest position. Other cars then with automatic adjustment of the lights, you're better to check the manufacturer's instructions for what basic point they want it set up for when you're checking the headlight alignment. So this one we're setting it to the highest position on the dial inside on the light on the dash. So now it's after automatically picking up, it's a halogen. If it's LED or xenon, it should pick up that it's LED or xenon. It'll always do the dim first, so you see, so it's picked up its halogen and it picked up here with the lights shining down, so that's telling us the dim. It's the dim. It's giving us the lux reading there, and what's that reading again?
Illumination
intensity reading here. And in this case, it's showing that everything is okay because it's come up with the tick and the happy face. Just for an example, just to show it being off, I'll adjust it and put it off a bit so you can see it. If you look in here then as well, so as well as watching here, you can look like you did with your standard beam setter. Look at the scales here, and we can see that it's coming along the dotted line in the middle, and then right in the center of it, then it's kicking up for the kick up to see into the ditch on the left hand side. So as we can see, it's on the parallel line, sorry, on the horizontal line. It's on the right on the dotted line, and then in the middle, then it's where it's kicking up at an angle. I'm just going to adjust the headlight a bit just to show it going off a bit. So if you see up here, it's still showing it's right, but now I'm after moving it a bit, and it's saying that it's too high, and that it needs to go down, and it needs to go to the left. And if you look in at here, then that matches what that's saying. So in this case, then I'm just going to adjust it back down. And now it's after coming right. And by bringing it down, it cured bringing it to the left at the same time. So if I go, just watch it there then, which I'll just go too low. So I'm just going to go too low just to show it. So now we're too low, and you can see here it's matching, it's the same thing, too low. And the arrow now is shown pointing back up. So it's telling us to rise the light. So I'll rise it up until we get the smiley face. Most headlights, this headlight, this is our up and down adjuster. There's another adjuster in here for left and right. So in this particular van, when we're adjusting the dip beam, it's adjusting the whole headlight, the whole internal of the light. So if you adjust the dip, you're adjusting the head at the same time. So the tester will ask us to go on and check the head as well and adjust it. There's no need, you can check it if you want, but if it's all on the same adjuster, there's no need. There is rare headlights that have separate adjusters for the heads and dims, and then you'll have to adjust them separately. So if we tick on to the next screen, this is going to change here. Now it's showing it halogen wanting us to do the heads, and it's showing it's wrong because we're still pointing on the dim light and we haven't got the heads turned on. So I'm just going to turn on the heads. I have to move the structure over because on this vehicle the dim is here and the head is here. So move over till we get the laser in around the middle of the light. So let it down a fraction. And you can see it's just go back to now. You can see it's right as well. So it kind of has to be right, because now if we want to adjust this to get it right, we can affect the dims. So that's one side done. If you go on then again, you can view the readings here as well. If you want the next one, now it's asking me, do you want to move it down and do a fog light? In this case we're not going to bother. Now it's going over to the other side. So we wheel across to the other side and flick it back to dims. When we go across to the other side now, we just need to recheck that we're still square with the car. So we're a little bit off. I can adjust this, loosen the screw and adjust it, or sometimes it's easier just to give a little push here. So now we're square there again. So now we're squared back up again. just check the beam, the laser, the little dot here. See, it's not exactly in the middle because we're doing the headlight on the other side. Just going to bring it up a small bit. And then up another little bit. It's hard to see the dot there with the light on, but I can see it. You can see it from here. And this light is okay as well. Right. So everything is all right here. Just see, can I adjust it? I just moved the left and right adjuster a bit to show that going off. Is it gone off yet?
Yeah, it's gone off.
Yeah. So it's telling us I turned it, I moved the light that way. Now it's telling us to move it back, adjust it back this side. And by doing that, it's after affecting the height as well. So I'll just swing it back here. Tell me when I'm getting close to it. Is it that way I need to go, is it? Another way?
Yeah, good now.
Is it it?
No, you're okay now.
Yeah. Same story then if we want to do the headlight. Move it across. Bring the down to the middle of it. Just flick on the headlight. And it's coming up as okay as well. Like we said, it should do because it's all on the same adjusters. That's really it. There's a good manual here with all that we covering most of the things we're after going through there. If you need an extra copy or anything of it, let us know. We can send it to you on PDF. And when you're setting it up initially at the point in the workshop, just check that the level, if you want to check the levels, maybe use an electronic level or a spirit level just to check that your floor is level. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye.